Type in the chat, hello all. Let's get started. Okay. Let's go to Zoom. Let me share my screen. Greetings to everybody. Make sure you can hear me. I'm about to do it. Matter of fact, let me make this on view mode. Hope everybody's having a blessed Tuesday. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's go ahead and start this. All right, you all now see my screen. We're live on YouTube. It should be showing. I'll save it and share it after into Facebook. But in the Facebook group, Eternal Financial Journey, you already have the PowerPoint presentation there for today and for Thursday as well. So be prepared. This is good information that everybody needed to know about. So I wanted to make sure I actually put it there. Matter of fact, this is not the one I wanted to share. Stop sharing. Let me share something else. I want to share another screen, not this one. Okay. Y'all give me a second, then I'll pull up the right one that I want to share with you. Let's go to PowerPoint. I think I'm sharing the one that I wanted to do. All right, here we go. View. It's the right one. It was just on a different page. All is well. Okay. You don't see my face right now, and you don't really need to at this moment. We get ready to say the prayer and keep going. All right, because we got to get it today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming. Let's go. Let's go ahead. Today we're going to be talking about how you can master your business taxes, compliance, and specifically we're talking about in the state of Tennessee. All right. Next week we'll be talking about the state of Georgia. I like to tell you the truth here. I tell you what I know, what I've been through, and how you can fix it. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and say our prayers. Abba, we thank you for this day. We just want to give you all glory, honor, power, and praise in our lives. We thank you for those who come here to listen, to be doers of your word, to be blessed by what they're listening to, and to actually take action. Let us be empowered by what we hear, by the knowledge and wisdom that we receive that comes from you. Help us to be better people in all aspects. And we just want to take this time to pray for everybody around the world. As we get ready to dive deeper into kingdom building and kingdom wealth, hope that everybody's along for the journey. So we just want to say thank you. Bless our hearts and our minds to be receptive today and always. It is so. To God be the glory. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. So with that said, mastering business taxes and compliance. And if you don't know, compliance is needed in everything, right? I'm going to explain to you the different types of taxes today in Tennessee, what each tax means, why it matters, and how you should stay compliant. Thursday, we're going to talk more about what happens when you're not in compliance and how you can fix it. All right. So it's not what you make, it's what you keep after taxes. I'll say that again. It's not what you make, it's what you keep after taxes. No matter what, you're paying taxes, right? That's something you all should know. So we're going to speak about how to understand the purpose of each tax, know when and why they apply, learn how to set up systems for tracking and accounting, how to avoid hidden costs in rentals or online sales, things that you really need, okay? So we're getting ready to talk about the different type of taxes and what they're used for. So here on this slide, you see it says, why does this matter? Most small businesses, or really all businesses, that usually fail are due to poor financial planning, lack of tax compliance, no tracking system. We've been talking about this for a while. If you don't have receipts and you don't have inventory, you don't have clear and proper records. Anytime there's an audit, you will fail. You're going to lose money. And when you're trying to hide money, you're cheating yourself out of it because there's no reason you should be hiding it. You should be scaling and expanding each and every time. So I'm going to tell you what to do to help you start before your first sale, to help you prepare to file, track, and pay taxes. No matter what you're doing, you're paying taxes, whether it's on property, whether it's the sales tax, they come up with a tax for everything. You file your taxes or you play the Wesley Snipes game and you go to jail. Same thing happened to the Peter or somebody out of Atlanta. Pay your taxes. Don't finger fudge things. Don't play these type of games. It only hurts you in the end. Okay? I just want to say that. So what happens when you start a business? What I didn't know is when I first started business in Tennessee, probably in 2014 or something like that. Everybody tells you, hey, go start a business, go get an LLC. That's only part of it. Nobody tells you the real truth, and you can't blame them from that because most people don't know. Most people think that you get a business, you just go get an LLC and that's it. No, your paperwork has to be in order administratively. So, if your paperwork's not in order, you're not keeping records, you don't have meeting notes, you don't have the proper documentation, that's another time your business is going to fail because people just tell you to go open an LLC. They don't tell you about the 4 different types of taxes that they have in the state of Tennessee. Remember, today we're talking about Tennessee. So this is for you to understand. That's why I want to be able to tell you this today. Learn from my mistakes. You're going to make enough in your own life that, hey, don't make any extra ones. Listen to this. Okay. Register for a business license. When you go to register for a business license, this is when I found this out. Okay. Because first of all, let me just say disclaimer that when I had to get on the phone and talk with the state of Tennessee in Nashville and deal with a representative by the name of Mark Sales, the most ignorant human being I've ever come across, like ever, that doesn't help you. It just frustrates you, infuriates you, and just say, oh, well, close it. It's some true idiots in this world. And that's just the best way I can put it to you, okay? But my ignorance, that part wasn't his fault. So a spade is a spade. I'm taking accountability. But hey. Now listen. So say you have an LLC and you go down to the city or the county or whoever clerk's office, all right? And you go say you want a business license. The moment you go get a business license, that alerts the state to say that you have a business running, they're expecting these taxes that we're going to go over with today. You just triggered it. So as soon as you go to get a business license, whether it's for food, whether it's for a shopping store, whatever license it is, you just alerted the state. All right. So the requirements of sales tax, franchise tax, excise tax, and more. Okay. Tennessee has 4. So that's what I'm telling you. If I'm screaming, you'll be all right. Just turn your volume down. So I put an example here, right? Keisha's food truck, or Travis clothing store, or Angela's group home, or Zara scarf shop. I don't care what it is. If you have a business license, they're going to be looking for it. All right. Let's talk about personal versus business finances, some things that I want you to know. It is important when you go get a business license or you go do certain things, you're not going to be able to use your personal account. And if you do, some people still do it, right? So I can tell you 100% you can't. It's illegal to operate that way. The moment you do and somebody files anything against you, guess what? You have now become liable because you were not acting out of your business account. You were doing this in your personal account. Don't mix business and pleasure. They don't go together. Business and personal, no. The way you act, your characteristics and stuff like that, that's fine. Your paperwork, They should never intermingle, not until you're filing taxes. So always make sure you have a separate account. I've said it 100 times. I'm going to say it a million more. Keep a separate account. Personal confusion causes stress. If you don't know where your money's going right now in your personal account, you're definitely not going to know where it's going in your business account. This is how things go bad for your taxes. And when you're trying, listen, you should have your own business credit established. We've been in this 90-day challenge for a while. It ends tomorrow anyway. The point is, keep it separate. There's no confusion where there's order. If you have your business structure, the different foundations that we talked about, whether you're a sole prop, a LLC, a LLP, a C Corp, your taxes, a S Corp, nonprofit, it wouldn't matter. You have a structure and you keep that clear and free from all this mixing of personal and business, you're going to be fine. You're going to be walking in clarity and order. This is why I tell you have to have systems, okay? So tools like QuickBooks, Wave, it's a million of them now. I use QuickBooks because I can use that for personal business projects, pretty much everything. And it integrates with so many other apps. All right. That's what's going to help you manage your expenses, your sales, your taxes, your reports. One-stop shop. That's why that's that important. So, we can't overtalk that. That's what you need to know. Now, let's talk about some of these taxes. All right. And I know what you're thinking. It's a tax for everything. It is. As long as you've been alive, you've been paying taxes. Even Jesus in the Bible walking around and had to pay these people now. You're gonna pay these taxes, and that's just part of it. Okay. Now, sales tax in Tennessee, 9.25% for public services. All right. So sales tax, what it is, tax added when selling tangible goods or services. Great. What is it used for? It's supposed to be used for these raggedy roads, schools, and public services. I don't know if you've been driving around in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's pretty raggedy around here with these roads. I don't know what they're doing, but hey, that's where the money's supposed to be going, to the roads, the schools, and the public service. All right. So you have a 7% state tax, and then you have about a 1.5 to a 2.75% for local tax, right? That gives you the 9.25%. So it's for the roads, the schools, and public services, whatever. And then this is the tax, the sales tax added when selling goods or services, food, clothes, whatever you're selling. Okay. Wonderful. Franchise tax. Let's talk about it. Just 0.25%, okay, of net worth. So let's talk about this franchise tax. This tax is paid by LLCs or corporations based on net worth or your property, if you have any in Tennessee. If you don't have any property, you don't have to worry about it. If you don't have a LLC or a corporation, then you wouldn't have to worry about it. All right. Now, who is this used for? Business regulation and state services, aka they're just taking money. Okay. Wonderful. So let's say you have an LLC or some property. Whether you made money on it or not, you're gonna pay a minimum of $100 a year. That's just a guarantee. Okay? Don't say I didn't tell you. Let's keep pushing. Excise tax. What is that? It's income tax on Tennessee-based business earnings. So if you have a business, you're gonna pay excise tax. And what's it for? The state general fund. They have a fund. Listen, they making up stuff, but it's the law, so you're gonna pay it. Okay. Now, let's get more. It's 6.5% of net income. I'll give more examples in the end. I'm just explaining what they are, what they're used for. And as you can see, they just making up stuff. They feel like if you got a business here, you got to pay them. So if you have a business in Tennessee, you're going to pay it or you're going to be out of business. One of the two. Okay. Now, business tax. Gross receipt tax for operating within a city or a county. You see that? You're paying the tax just for operating. You're paying the tax on gross income. You're paying the tax on what you're selling. You see what I'm saying? Tax is crazy. This is why your write-off game and everything should be official. This is why it should be under business credit. All this sound crazy, but if you have, we'll get more into it. You can write a lot of this off. Pay the people. Okay. Anyway, um, now who is this used for? Who is this business tax used for? City, county, infrastructure, and enforcement. They don't need it, but is what you must do. Okay, wonderful. Um, and the price varies by business type and classification. Just stay tuned. We're gonna get to some examples. All right. Now, personal property tax. Okay. Tax on business equipment. So furniture, registers, computers, whatever. What is it used for? Local public funding. You see how this stuff is just vague? Stick with me, people. Right? And it depends on equipment value. Well, if you bought enough equipment, that stuff depreciates and you can write it off anyway. Help yourself, people. That's all I'm saying. So that's just some of them, right? And then if you have hotels or occupancy tax or something like that for Airbnbs and hotels, there's usually between 4 to 7% in most cities. And who are you paying it to? For tourism and city services? See what I'm saying? Like, it's just, hey, I'm just telling you what it's for, but these are the different type of taxes that are in Tennessee. All right. Don't get scared because I'm gonna tell you how to get through this. Now, earlier when I said a POS system, and I said that in another training, and people were like, "Well, what is a POS?" I be forgetting. I know it can mean something else, but I'm not talking about that right now. So it's point of sale, and why do you need one? So what is it, and why do you need one? A point of sale system is used to process transactions and track sales and manage inventory. So think of it this way. A point of sale system is the system you use to complete sales and manage transactions. So if you went somewhere and you give them your credit card, they have a point of sale system. If you go somewhere and um, you're able to pay in various ways, you all use this at your gas stations, you use it in Walmart, Target, wherever you're going, the grocery stores, that's the point of sale system. All right. So some examples of point of sale systems are Square. A lot of people who have food trucks and shops and stuff will use Square. It integrates with QuickBooks and 100 other apps. Like I think it's like 350. It's a lot, right? Some people use Shopify point of sale for online or retail. So if you're selling clothes and things like that online, Shopify they have their own point of sales and transaction. I'll tell you why this is more beneficial too, because whatever state you're selling from, it includes the taxes already in the price so that you don't have to go collect it later or pay more money. You can base your price based on adding in the sales tax or different taxes that you have, right? If you're selling clothes, food, or something like that. A lot of restaurants will use like Clover or Toast for their point of sale systems, right? So it really doesn't matter which ones you want to use. It's just the point that for you to be able to accept different forms of money, and it helps you with transactions and inventory. So if you have 20 shirts and you sold 10 a day, your point of sale system will tell you that you have 10. If you went up in sales or down in sales, it helps you look at that, and it tells you about your transactions, cash, card, which card, which one is better. Tells you stuff like that, right? So the benefits of having a point of sale system is it automatically adds sales tax, as I was telling you. It tracks inventory and profit. It integrates with QuickBooks. So if you want to run reports or you're trying to see these things, automatically can do it. It generates receipts for them, and then it keeps a copy for you digitally. All right. So if you want to accept cards, cash, Apple Pay, Google Pay, make up a pay, even some crypto, you can have a point of sale system that will be able to do all of this. So that's what a POS is. Okay. So I hope everybody just learned a little something today. Now, another question that I received last week was, do you need a business license for renting property? I'm going to tell you no. I am not here. I'm not your legal counsel. You can seek legal counsel. I'm not your financial counsel. I can tell you what you need to know. However, take that with a grain of salt. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not advising you to do anything. Do you need a business license for renting property? No. But if you want to use it for a strategy to make more money and turn it into a lucrative business and have more write-offs, it would be beneficial to you, but you don't have to have a business for that. Okay, so I'm gonna give you some examples at the end, and it's gonna be a beautiful transition for you to be able to understand. All right, so let's say Angela owns a house and rents it to long-term tenants. Angela owns a house. What does she do? Rents it to who? Long-term tenants. If it's going to be long-term, a year at a time, 6 months at a time, something like that, you don't need a business license. Like, you don't have to have a business license. Um, Anybody over 30 days, you don't have to have a business license, okay? Now, let's talk about Airbnb. See, this is where people get confused. Each state is different. So let's say that Angela converts it into an Airbnb for weekend stays. That's short stays. That's not more than 30 days. I mean, you could, but for this example, it's not. Now it changes because now she would need a business license. Do you know why? It's because this is considered a short-term rental or a hospitality business. Short term, you want to go ahead and get your business license. Long term, you don't want to do that. If it's somebody you know that's not causing you problems, you don't want to do that. But you know that sometimes when people come in and you're turning stuff into an Airbnb or your short rentals and stuff like that, people do tear up stuff. Insurance will tell you different things. Police yourself. Do yourself the favor. If it's long term, do you have to have a business license? No. If you're going to do short term and you don't know if Billy Bob them finna come in there and put holes in your walls and you're going to have to pay insurance anyway, some states will require, if you're doing Airbnb and short-term license, that you would have to have a business license. Here in Tennessee, don't get caught because they could say it's a hospitality business. And you can say, no, it's not. Well, if they're staying under 30 days, they can get you. Remember, we talked about it. How are they going to get you? Snitches. Somebody's going to tell it. They going Timmy telling, right? I don't want to go through all that. I'm just telling you, right? So if it's an Airbnb, Angela must get a short-term rental permit. You really don't have to do all that. You just need to get a business license. Now, anyway, um, and then she may be required to collect the hotel occupancy tax, right? Or they might tell her to get a business license. You would want to do your due diligence with that, okay? But everybody else who's doing long-term rentals over 30 days, you don't have to do none of that. You can collect your money and go. It's yours, okay? So hopefully that answered their question. Now, what if you sell items online? Glad you asked. Now let's talk about it. All right. Online sellers need a home-based license, and we're talking about Tennessee, sales tax registration, and may be subject to franchise and excise tax, whatever. All right. So let me just give you some scenario with this. Let's say Zara sells scarves on Etsy or Amazon or her own website, right? She must get a home-based business license. It's not hard. You just pay a fee. Okay. And then she would register with the Tennessee Department of Revenue. Right online. We're going to get to this in the end. She will collect sales tax from Tennessee customers. Because if you're a product or a service, you're going to, hey, that's what it is. You're going to collect sales tax. And when you're online selling, they have their taxes. They take it out in your prices automatically, so you don't have to deal with it, okay? Sometimes you have to file a franchise and excise tax. So if you're an LLC, that's when you do the franchise and excise tax. If not, if you're a sole prop, you don't have to do that part. But no matter what, and they're together in the state of Tennessee, they put both of those taxes together, one little lump sum. So we'll talk about that here in a second, all right? Now, here's an important disclaimer that you need to know. If she sells to customers outside of Tennessee, she usually doesn't collect sales tax unless she reaches the state's threshold, which is usually $100,000 plus in sales. But if you have a POS system, a point of sale system like QuickBooks and this, that, and the other, or you just charge a flat rate for shipping or whatever, you'll be fine. So platforms like Etsy, Shopify, they may collect sales taxes automatically, right? But this is up to you to confirm and make sure and still register your business. I'm just telling you. All right, because you might be an international person. You can ship anywhere in the world. That's totally up to you. But most places like Etsy, Shopify, they already take out the sales taxes automatically. But you always want to verify because who wants to pay extra money? Okay, so I'm just telling you. Now, inventory tips and tools, all right? So let me just give you, before we even get to that, let's just say some things you can do. So let me give you an example, a food truck. All right, here's the inventory example for a food truck. They have 500 hamburger buns and 200 pounds of meat. With the right inventory and point of sale system, they can log the quantity, the cost, and the sale price. Right? And they can use QuickBooks plus their point of sale system because they integrate into each other. And it'll tell you when you're running low, when you get ready to run out, you can change the price to up, down, whatever you got to do. It'll tell you how much you sold, how much you made, what's left. All right. Let's say a boutique. Say you have 100 shirts for $10, right? You got 100 shirts that you paid $10 a piece for, but you sell it at $35.30. So it'll tell you your income. You can use QuickBooks and whatever point you can use Square, Clover, whatever point of sale system you want to use. All right. For online scarf store, maybe you have 300 scarves in 10 colors and you want a package and label for tracking, right? So you want one that can track your packages. Great. So maybe you use Shopify and QuickBooks. That will work for you. It'll tell you how many scarves you got left, what colors you got left, where's the package, what day is getting there, everything. Say you have an assisted living, right? That's not retail, but you want to track your supplies, such as cleaning products, food for residents, toilet paper. I don't know, make it up. You could use whatever system you're using to accept payments in QuickBooks. Or if you wanted to use something simple like Excel in QuickBooks, you could do that too. So I just want to give you some examples of tools that you could use to do it, to track quantities, purchase costs, and sales, right? So QuickBooks and Excel can be your friend. If you want to use QuickBooks yet and you're proficient in Excel, use that. If not, QuickBooks is your friend, personal, business, every which way, all right? Even if you have more than one business, QuickBooks, you can have more than one business and put everything in there. Tie your accounts to it. It'll automatically automate and go in and put stuff in the areas it should be in the categories. And if not, it will ask you. It'll put it in miscellaneous. You can go in and do it. Somebody, Miss Retha, needed her receipt from something. She lost it. Go back and reprint it. Bingo. All right. And I put here review monthly, but I'm gonna let you know I review way more than that. I review every 3 days or either weekly. It just depends on how busy you are, but do it and well before tax time. And like I said, with QuickBooks, it's automatic. It'll put it in the certain categories. And if you don't know what category it goes in, it'll say miscellaneous and you can go in and do it. Okay. Now, let's talk about a breakdown in business type. Okay. So if you have a food truck, what taxes do you owe? You owe sales tax, franchise, and excise tax. Those are together. That's why the slash is there. And then you need to have a business license, right? It may be some special requirements. This is why you would do the due diligence. You might need a health permit or a fire inspection of you know what I'm saying, of your food truck. Or if you're selling food, I'm pretty sure they have to come out and do a health inspection. That's up to you if you want to be in business, okay? But the taxes owed are sales tax, franchise, and excise tax. Why? Because you have an LLC, and it's a sales tax because you're selling food. All right, let's go with a clothing store. Taxes owed are sales tax, franchise, and excise tax. Why? Even sometimes business and property, but that's if you own the property, right? If not, whoever you're renting it from, they should be taking care of property taxes and everything else. It should be rolled into one. If not, you want to find out because what are you renting it for? Now, if you own it, then yeah, you would pay your yearly property tax. All right. Special requirements for that may be you would need a point of sale system or inventory control. You need to know what clothes is coming in and out, what's selling, what's hot, what's not. You don't want to run out of something and miss money because somebody coming in and they want that jumpsuit and now you don't have it. All right. Now, assisted living, or a group home, whoever. If you have an assisted living, you're gonna pay franchise, franchise, and excise tax, right? And property tax. That's if you own the property. If you don't, whoever you're renting from, unless they tell you you're liable for it, they should be paying it. Okay, that should be in your fee. But that's up to you and whoever you're renting from. Um, you see how there's no sales tax? So unless you in that bad boy, you know, then open up a cafeteria or something, you don't really have to go through all that. So it's not retail. So there's no sales tax because it's not retail, but there are licenses required. Which ones? Hey, you need to contact the state. There might be a few of them. Who knows? All right. Now let's talk about online scarves. Okay. So if you got an online shop, and this is for Tennessee only, if you're Georgia, Arizona, California, y'all hold on. Y'all ain't, this is not y'all time to shine this week. Okay. Now, online scarves for Tennessee, you're going to have a sales tax because you're selling retail. All right. And if you're a sole prop, that's all you're going to pay. But if you're an LLC, franchise and excise tax, okay, you're going to pay that. But if you're not an LLC, you're only going to pay sales tax. Okay, that's it. I'm just trying to give you a couple examples so you would be able to understand. All right, let's talk about tax penalties for non-compliance. All right. So what if you don't file or pay these taxes? What's going to happen? Glad you asked. Let's talk. Now, late sales tax is usually a 5% penalty per month. It's a max of 25% plus interest. I'm going to tell you my story. I was down here. I hadn't made any money in Tennessee at that time. And I was just, getting things started. Smart thing would be get things started, then get the LLC. But anyway, I made that mistake. Next thing I know, I had old slow mark sales on the phone talking about old $4,800. First of all, who are you? Second of all, what are you talking about? And third of all, no, I don't. Well, like I said, my ignorance didn't stop that from happening. But hey, oh, I got a business. I got an LLC. My administrative paperwork was not taken care of. All right. I didn't have to pay that, but that's not the point. I had to get off the phone with him because each time I called, he was just being an idiot. I ended up calling at a different time, speaking with another nice lady. And I'm going to tell you about how to, that's Thursday, how you can fix it, get your business in compliance, and be better people. All right. But if you don't pay your franchise and excise filing, that's $500 plus penalties. Now let's see, missing business license renewal. I think it was $20 in Tennessee. I don't know what it is right now. Um, let's say $20 or $30, right? If you don't, your license will be revoked. All right. And then you run an audit risk, right? That increases if filing is inconsistent or skipped. Because when you go to banks, when you go to certain places, they can see whether a lot of banks will ask you for a bank statement that you're in compliance or a business compliance, or um, they can look at your business license and look at it online to see whether it's in good standing or not. It's that simple. Always make sure your paperwork is in order. Nobody has time to be paying these late penalties and taxes. And look, they taxing you enough. Don't give them no extra money. All right. Like, It can cause your business to be shut down, and it cause you not to be fundable. Nobody can send something. It just goes downhill from there. Just don't even worry about doing it. All right. So let's talk about some systems that can help you protect your peace and your profit. All right. Use systems to automate and reduce stress. This is why I keep telling you, no matter what type of business you have, the better system that you have, the better off that you will be. All right. So, um, let's say for sales, payments, and tax, certain systems already have this in there automatically, and you can say which state you're in. I don't care if you go from Tennessee one day, the next weekend, Kentucky, 2 weeks from that, you're in Georgia. You can change it each time you turn it on. All right. So for sales, payments, and tax, the point of sale systems that are great for that are Square and Shopify. If you're online, use Shopify. Printify, Somebodyfy. It's going to be great. Square is amazing. All the ones that they connect to QuickBooks, oh, I love, okay? But I use Square myself. That's why I'm telling you about it. All right, for accounting and reporting, QuickBooks, it connects to any accounts, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, uh, any of these payment systems, it doesn't matter. They connect to over 500 or 600 different apps. You can use them. All right. For inventory tracking, QuickBooks, a beast. But that's up to you. Or you could use Excel. You can go in and use your fingers, type it in there. You know what I'm saying? And do it that way. It's totally up to you. Where would you go to file your Tennessee taxes? TNTAP, TNTAP. Remember, as soon as you go get a business license, it triggers them for taxes no matter what. Now, say for instance, you didn't get a business license and you just had an LLC. It'll still have taxes or something like that you owe, but you will be able to go back and zero it out for however many years back. I think up to 5. Call the people and find out. Okay. But 10 tap is where you will file your Tennessee taxes. All right. So, and then your year-end filing, that would be you, and it would roll on to your personal taxes. Okay. Unless you're a C corp or something like that. We'll go back over that in September so you can be ready for October when they're due. All right. Now, it's just better to automate taxes and stay ready. Avoid the stress, avoid them taking your money. We can't play with people. Okay. So let me give you a little bit of final wisdom as we bring this in almost to a close. All right. Building eternal businesses, how this can help you. Don't skip setup just to get started. Because you're rushing and doing stuff, it's never good to rush. If you're not organized, I would tell you, you don't need to be in business. You're only going to make it hard for yourself. If your paperwork is not in order, you are not in order, you are not fundable, they will shut you down. And I understand that a lot of people don't know. My ignorance, that's why I shared it with you, some of the things that I've been through, the hardship, so that it can help you get to a different level. We don't have time to play these games. Okay. Now, register only for a business license when you're ready to file, track, and pay. If you're not ready to file, track, and pay, and you're not up making a profit, I would not file and go get a business license. All right. And that's just me personally telling you. I'm not, you do whatever it is that you would like to do. You go seek legal counsel, financial counsel, whatever it takes. Okay. And I done sought spiritual counsel, and God done spoke, and this is what it is. Do not just go jumping into something. That's why I'm trying to explain this to you all so you understand. Only register for your business license and do all this when you're ready. Don't even go get that LLC until you're ready, because whether you're making money or not, you have to file your taxes and your business taxes. And I don't care if you say you made zero. This is why so many people go out of business so fast. All right. You need to stay compliant and keep your paperwork, your administrative paperwork together and good. Why? You're eligible for grants, contracts, loans, funding, DeFi, all these things that we get ready to go through again. All right. This helps you avoid shutdowns, penalties, and stress. You done paid enough money. You're paying $300 a year to keep the LLC open. You don't have time to go playing these games with these people. You heard me tell you about all the different types of tax and who may have to pay it. At a minimum, you're going to be paying 2 to 3 taxes. All right. They just want you paying taxes for breathing air. So that's just part of it. All right. So stay smart, stay strong, build forever. That's what I want you to know. Use your tools, have a great system, let it be automatic. Click and push of a button. Life should be easier for you. I don't need you out here, you know what I'm saying? Doing nothing crazy. I want you to be able to think clear, do what you got to do, and keep moving. All right. Now, let's talk about the next topic that we're going to have on Thursday. All right. This is what you want to do. So the next topic is going to be when your business is non-compliant or inactive. So if you've already made these mistakes in Tennessee, like I did, that's okay. Let's talk about how you can get out of it and fix it, right? And sometimes you don't get out of everything, but you can fix it. It can be repaired. That's what I know. All right. So let's say you did not file the required taxes forms or renew your license. It's just a fee to get your license back, to renew your license. Let's calm that down, right? If you did not file your required tax forms or your business may be marked inactive or administratively dissolved, this is what we're going to get into Thursday. All right. So the consequences of that could be loss of legal protections. All right. Fines and back taxes. Most of the time, if you didn't make any money, you can go back and open it. You might have to write letters, you might have to talk to them online, and you have to go back and file back taxes, and you're gonna have to go back and retrace your steps. It can be done. Now, if you were making money, and hey, it gets more hectic, right? But we'll talk about that on Thursday. So if it's not right and they look online and they can see that your business has been marked inactive or administratively dissolved, you see the word administratively? This is why you have to have your paperwork together. You won't be getting any grants or business credit with that because they can see it. All right. You're not going to go get more business credit because they can look in the bank and see that too. So to fix it, you can file back taxes. You may have to pay a small penalty or something like that. Just like if you don't pay your registration fee of your $300 a year, your business is not going to be open. It's due April 1st. That's why Thursday we're going to talk about due dates, things that you need, how you can reinstate your business, how you can file back taxes. And now if you owe money and how you can pay penalties. All right. The sooner you do it, the better. You don't wait until it's late. It's July, people. Happy July. October, it's time to start filing business taxes. This is why you should have you know what? I'm gonna create a PDF for you and put for Tennessee all the due dates for different stuff. Compliance is very important. I can't tell you that enough. Your paperwork needs to be together. Everything needs to be separate. Now you see why you want to separate personal and business. Business is business. Personal is personal. And the smarter you are, and the more you start getting all your personal stuff over to your business stuff, you won't have a problem because you'll have the bare minimum in your personal name and everything else in your business name. Because at all times, you should be doing business, right? But I don't want to sit here and preach to you. I'm just telling you what's happening. Um, I'm just waiting to see if anybody got any questions. But you know, this is part of it. This is part of it. So when everybody just running and jumping up and down, oh, go start an LLC, well, do you know what comes with that? Just like when you pray for things, do you know what comes with that? So there's just some things that I wanted to put there, uh, you know, so you would know it. But all this is very important. I wanted you all to know. If you got any questions for me on YouTube, let me know. I'm going to go look. If you got any questions in Zoom, let me know. But if not, I just want to thank you for your time. To God be the glory. Make sure you're back Thursday. This is very important for my people in Tennessee. Get it right. Get it right and do what you got to do. We're going to keep pushing. All right. I don't see nothing on YouTube. Let me see if I got anything on Zoom. But I do appreciate y'all coming and looking. It'll be shared shortly in Eternal Financial Journey on Facebook, the private group. If anybody listening on YouTube and you want to come join, come on over there. And tell your people about it. All right. So that's what that is. We don't have time to play these games, okay? So let's stay in compliance. Let's be good people. Y'all be blessed. God is light. God is love. I'll see y'all next time. I do appreciate you. Thank you.